Hi guys, welcome back to my God's fanfic. So we're down to just the last two fics. I'm reading one of the last regular fanfic, and then after that, next day will be the last NSW fic. But there could be more because they're gonna update more fics in that game. So after those two fics, I will take a break from across the multiverse, and I might come back with new ones. But now I'll have to take this a break after these last two. First one will be Lost Together. So this will be one of the last fics that was up to date. Okay, so this is a camping AU, modern AU, mutual finding. Okay. Let's read some of the summary. But the prompt, okay, so this is in June, so this is about 3 years ago. So the prompt says the gang goes camping, Heat and Lance get lost, romance bonds between them. Okay, alright, so the summary. He and Lance have a rocky history, and Lance is willing to admit it's probably his fault, but he's changed his ways. Seeing the light, developed a consumer crush, is now totally ready to woo the pants off Key. He's been steadily inching closer over the past few months, but what better time to really buckle down and kiss the boy than a romantic camping trip out in the woods? Granted, their friends are all there, but that's besides the point. Lance is great at camping. He's totally going to impress Key, and Key will undoubtedly swoon into his arms. What could possibly go wrong? That, my friends, there could be something wrong here with this. Who knows? Alright, let's get started with this. Lost together. I hope you're ready to lose, mullet. You're going down. What are you talking about? Camping, keep up. I'm gonna beat you at camping so hard. Camp is in the competition, Lance. Oh, could draw mon ami. Camping is a tournament of competitions. Did you have to Google how to spell that? Shut up, Keith. I'm trying to set the stage here. Set the stage for what? For camping competition. If this is a competition, which it isn't, what makes so sure you'll win? Because I have years of family camping experience behind me and years of beating my siblings. Dad and I used to go camping every other week. Oh, I spy a worthy opponent. Stop. And then some smiley face and going on. I'm going to start replying. We both know you can't resist me. Keith, Keith, buddy, stop ignoring me. Lance stares at his phone for a moment, longer before Hubbard lifted his hand to glare at the black car ahead of him. He can just make out the shape of Keith's messy hair in the backseat of the car. He knows for a fact that Keith is ignoring him just for the heck of it now. Just to prove a point, just to get under Lance's skin. Well, it's working. Two can play this game. Keith, I-S-2-G. If you keep ignoring me, I'm gonna have to do something drastic. Drastic times and drastic measures and all that. This is your last warning. I'll give you something you can't ignore. He gives Keith a cursed 30 seconds before slapping his phone down and turns home, who have been blissfully mouthing along to their patented best friend road playlist as Joe. Hunk, speed up. He blinks, brows furrowing as he sneaks a sidelong glance at Lance. What? You heard me. Speed up. Lance, there's a car in front of me. I know. I need you to pass me. But pause right beside them for a second. Hunk grows, head falling back against the headrest. It's a noise that's long suffering and exasperating. But Lance swears there's some fondness and acceptance in there too. He may not know where Lance is going with this, but he sure as heck knows the direction. But what are you going to do this time? Lance doesn't even try to hide his grin, wide and shameless, a light wooden machine. You'll see. I don't know if this is a good idea, he says, but he's already looking over his shoulder. Wait for the car next to them to pass so it can merge over. Unc, buddy, my man, what's the fun in road tripping with friends in the care if you can't antagonize the other car when you pass? But I wasn't planning on passing. Please, he asked, eyes wide and lips sticking out in the perfect youngest slipping pouch. Leans over the center console, pressing his cheek up against Hunk's arm. Pretty please? I'd do it for you in a heartbeat. Unc glanced at him, a small smile on his lips, even as he sighs. I don't antagonize our friends like you do. It's all part of my charm. I say, we do it. It says from the backseat. And just passed up beside her. Head fell back in a thin line with drool sliding down his chin. She's been lost in playing her switch, which she set aside with the possibility of shenanigans. Why do you want to anyway? Unc asked, and Lance huffs, indignant and overly bitter. He is ignoring me, so I want to give him something he can't ignore. Mature, Pitch says dryly. Lace with him. Shut up, Pitch. Weren't you going to use this weekend too? And I quote, woo, he. Yes, and this is all part of my plan. To annoy him? I'm not annoying him. I'm with Lance on this, Hunk says, shaking his head with a response. He is pretty blunt about this. And if Lance was actually annoying him, he'd say something about it. Instead, he always keeps Lance going and only ignores his round one. See? Lance just Hunk, twisting in his seat to scalpage. Well, it's not annoying if Keith finds it endearing. So, what you gonna do that's totally not annoying? Lance grins at that, and his scenes answering as far as curiosity and pitch. You'll see. Do it, Hunk. I want to see what Lance has planned. And while he doesn't admit it, Hunk does too. It's in the way his smile curls just a fraction wider, eyes glinting with his own random cheek and rampant curiosity. Alright, hold on. Heck yeah! As Hunk pulls out into the next lane, Lance quickly unbuckles his seatbelt. Whoa, what are you? Lance! Hunk sneaks quick sight along Lance's head, eyes widened with shock and mouth hanging behind him. Pitch cackles. Just keep going. He waves a hand at Hunk as he gets up on his knees, turn in his seat to put his back to the window, crouch on the seat like some sort of gargoyle. Don't forget to pause next to them for a second before passing them. Oh my god, Hunk mutters, gasping as Lance unbuttons his seat. Oh my god, Lance, you're not. Oh, you so are. I can't believe this. You can't. And you're encouraging me because you're still driving. This is amazing, Pitch gaps through laughter, scrambling to pull her phone out. Hold on, I'm filming this. Hank speaks up, muttering to himself the whole time, but never once indicating that he's got 100% on board. As he pulled next to Cheryl's car, on the side of where Keith's sitting, Lance shoved his thumbs into the waistband of both jeans and underwear, pulling them down and leaning back to press his butt against the window. He'll admit it's an awkward position, but judging from Reed's cackling and declarations of, oh my god, you should see their faces, and Hunk's own startled laughter, it's totally worth it. Then Hunk puts the pedal to the metal and speeds past it, merging back into the other lane ahead of Shield. Only then does Lance pull his pants back up, settling back into his seat and rebuckling his seatbelt. Finch leans forward immediately to show him the video, and he relishes the horrified look on Cher's face. Half startled laugh from the passenger seat, and Keith's surprised face from the backseat. Eyes wide, mouth hanging open, completely in shock. Beautiful. His vibrates and he reaches for it, grinning for you to hear. What the heck? Told you I'd give you something you can't ignore. If you think your skinny butt is enough to hold my attention, I got some bad news for you. Oh, rude. Just then, a car pulls past them and glances over in time to register that it's Shiro's car, and he is definitely flipping off from the backseat. Can't help it. He laughs. Brilliant wooing technique, Bitch says sadly. Thank you. His chest flutters as we start doing these numbers. I'm gonna get that boy to kiss me during this trip. Mark my words. Operation Impress Key and make him fall for me is a go. Bitch scoops and hungry stuff, adding him on. Good luck, buddy. Oh, God, this is a competition. Why has to be a competition of going to the camp? Like, this is a very serious thing. I mean, why is Lance doing it? Well, Lance is the mastermind of this. No, let's get that look at the second, keep an eye on it, and just move forward and just get ahead. Because he wants to out compete with Keith, I think, because that's how that purpose of that one is. So that definitely proves the point of where one's gonna go. Oh, as someone sees back here. So that's the real point of where seeing because I know there's going to be a lot of competition. But Is there anything that could possibly go wrong? Who knows? Who knows? Hope there's something great here. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next one. But first, I'm gonna introduce you to something you never meet. Okay, so let me introduce you. Okay, wanna get up? Wanna get up? Huh? Wanna get up? Can't reach it right now. It's too low for me to screen the TV. Can't carry this. It's too heavy. Well, this is my cousin's new pet, new dog, Joby, with as in Jobi. He is very hyperactive and he's very going crazy. Well, that's just very much content because he's caring a lot about it so much. That's pretty exciting right now. Whoa. I'm gonna put him down so that we'll have to talk to these people. Okay? Hold on. So, Lance has a lot of favorite things about Keith. He likes the little confused pout that happens whenever he doesn't quite get something. He likes the way Keith grumbles and get as pliable and clean as putty when he's tired. He likes the way he laughs when he's fully relaxed and confident. His big belly loud laugh where he tosses his head back and holds his stomach. He likes the sly little chuckles when he makes playful jabs at things. He likes those stupid gloves he always wears. He likes how he always stands up for people. He likes how selfless he is, how determined and how righteous. He likes how, no matter how upset he is, Lance can always seem to make him smile. He likes the way he puts away too much sugar in his coffee, and how he always remembers Lance's strict orders no matter how revolted. He likes how he'll let Lance lean against him when he whines. He likes how Keith bites at his nails and pouts when Lance tells him to stop. And most of all, he likes the way Keith always rises to any challenge Lance throws his way, no matter how stupid or small. They're both competitive to a fault, and even as their one-sided rivalry faded, that fire spark between them only got brighter, hotter. Lance likes that Keith is always there, right beside him, whether they're against one another or on the same team. Keith is with him, neck and neck. He likes that Keith can keep up with him, give him a good run for his money, makes him work for it. And now that they're friends, it's no longer heated. There's this playful heat as Lance finds more thrill than ever before. It's a heat that simmers low in his gut, chasing away the desire to punch that smug off Keith's face, and instead urges him to grab the boy and kiss him stupid. So yeah, with the way things are between them, camping is the perfect opportunity to press him through a gauntlet of small competitions. It's a great plan, but well, Lance hadn't been counting on Keith having just as much experience as him. He beats him in their tent race, setting up his, Shiero's and Adam's tent with while Lance handles himself and all the sticks and strings. And who the heck bought this ridiculously big tent, pitch? He gives him a smug smirk after that and watches Lance struggle for a moment before coming over to help him with himself. Gentle guidance and pure confidence. That butterflies in Lane's stomach won't even let him be mad about it. He gets his time to shine when they go fishing at the nearby lake. He wasn't even going to join them, preferring to stay at the camp with Pitch. Had a Ramel, but a little goading from Lance goes a long way. Lance doesn't want to dwell on the fact that Keith was resisting his badgering, so Pitch said, Keith, Jesus Christ, just go with him. He's not going to admit it, but all of this is just Lance speak for I really want you to come hang out with me and watch me show off. And as bended as Lance wants to be, he has to admit that it was effective. Keith had pursed his lips, scowled at Lance, and grabbed the fishing pole from his hand before stomping up at the shore toward the lake, muttering soft, you could have just said that. Whatever. Point is, he does come fishing with them, and Lance does get to show off. Surprisingly, he's a little squeamish about leaving his hook. It's kind of funny, and Lance can barely hold back a laugh when he caresses. But seriously, even Hunk can make his line. Solon gets to kneel down next to Keith, closer than is really necessary, and walk him to preparing his fishing rod with skillful hands. He casts his line with ease and skill, and gets another laugh when he tries to other fails. The way he scowls at the fishing pole and the flush reddening his cheeks is enough for Lance to take pity on him. Laura ends up catching the most fish. Followed close by Honk. She only manages to catch one scrawny little thing, but he throws it back. He says it was relaxing anyway. Lance had been planning to catch the most to impress Keith, but instead he ends up setting his own rod aside and sitting next to Keith and guiding him through the process. Sidled up close behind him, guiding his hands and arms through the motions with gentle, lingering touches. When he grins and compliments Keith on the cast well done, the responding smile is, well, wow, some he does end up catching one fish, with Lance's help, of course, and that's more than Matt manages to get. He complains loudly on the walk back to camp. He just chuckles softly, shooting Lance a subtle look and a small smile that feels so thankful and private. He thinks he did a good job, despite the fact that he caught none himself. After lunch, they go canoeing on the lake, and Lance, with no small amount of subtle maneuvering, ends up sharing one with Keith. As much fun as competing against Keith is, Lance has found that his favorite thing is to compete with Keith as a team, because holy crap, do they make a great one. They end up rolling circles around everyone else, being even Laura and Romel, who arguably are just as competitive as Keith and Lance, though that race is close. Overall, things are good, really good. He and Keith sneak subtle glances at each other. He gets to weasel a few smiles and laughs out of it. He doesn't seem to mind when Lance kind of just ends up at his side most of the day, and Lance is pretty hopeful that this is going somewhere. So there's a lot of competition there, but it's not against each other. It's with each other. They've done a lot of activities than going to camping as much, but Lance really helps out and see where this is going, where all this camping goes, because Lance knows everything about camping. I think he has that experience for that. But for me, I've been camping twice in my life. I wish I could come back and do the third time, but I don't have much time. But will there be a third time going for camping? There might be a block for that, but I'm not sure. I am unsure. But anyways, done a lot of things between Lance and Keen, doing some camping activities. It's great. I told you my way was better, Lance says, leaning close to whispering Keith's ear. He doesn't do much besides roll his eyes, but he doesn't move away, and Lance counts that as a win. Whatever, Lance. It's just a fire. He spears a couple of marshmallows on his stick and with reckless abandon. It's not just a fire, Lance whispers, delicately spearing his marshmallows. Thank you very much. It's our campfire. It has to be perfect. As long as it's burning, who cares? Me. I mean, look at it. He waves a hand toward the fire in question, burning brilliantly in the designated fireplace, while the others had gathered firewood. He and Lance had argued for nearly an hour about the best way to stack the wood for the best fire. They stacked and restacked and knocked each other's creation down the start again. They had bickered, but they had fun. Lance knows for a fact that he did, and he could see the smile fighting at the edge of Keith's lips the whole time. Win. Now, when the bottom log burns, another will fall into place. It's efficiency. Lance poking and prodding to get the fire to build back up. Keith huffs. I like the poking and prodding. Lance tries to sigh. He really does, but it comes out as more of a short, flat answer. Why am I not surprised? Keith! What? Keith blinks at him, eyes roaming down to where Lance had grabbed his wrist and pulled away from the fire. Marshmallow stick now pointing at the sky. What are you doing? Roasting a marshmallow? He looks so innocently confused and baffled. It's far too cute, but this is a grievous error. You're just going to end up burning it if you just shove it into the fire like that. Keith blinks. Tears turn before he opens his mouth to say, in the most blanket, confused manner, I know, that's the point. And when Lance just gapes at him, gasps in very real horror. Keith scowls. What? Can't just burn it. Why not? It get all charred and black on the outside. I know, Pete says, slowly, like Lance is somehow the one who doesn't seem to get it. He pulls his wrist from Lance's grasp. That's how I like it. But you, it's burnt that way. Lance sputters, arms flailing around, nails stabbing the page with his marshmallow steel. He loses his battle with a smile, Then it shined through the sun, peeking through clouds. Radiant as always, eyes into amusement at how twisted up Lance's body is. It's not a big deal. Now Lance can hear the intellect in his voice, and this has gone too far. It is. How can you like it that way? He shrugs, moving his stick back towards fire, clearly intent on just shoving it in and catching on fire. Lance beats him to it, slapping his stick away with his own. He glares at him, and Lance matches him. He's the first to break, helping him roll the sides. It's just, I don't know, I like the crunch of it, and then the inside is melted. It's good. You're just too impatient to do it the proper way, aren't you? Lance asks me. There's no right way to roast a marshmallow. There is, and I'll show you, you gosh darn heathen. Lance takes it as an option to scoot closer on the long bench, press on next to Key until they're nearly hip to hip, and he's knocking together. He shoves Key's knee for a good measure, and Key jumps back, but neither of them move away. When Lance takes Keith's stick alongside his own and holds them out over the fire, just far enough to catch the heat without catching on fire. He rambles then, and it's totally not because he's nervous. He just has a lot of information, okay, about the proper techniques, about to get it a golden brown on all sides, filled with anecdotes of his family and how Veronica had taught him, and how this will totally be worth the wait, Keith. Just you wait and see. And Keith, he just sits there, leaned forward, elbows resting on his knees, chin propped up on one palm, watches Lance with his little smile playing out across his lips, silent but attentive. And yeah, this is definitely a win. Okay, so yeah, this is the open fire and get out into this campfire and how to roast a marshmallow because everybody knows the very tradition of the camping is the marshmallow and getting s'mores and all that. But we're not talking about the s'mores in this case. This is marshmallow. How to toast the marshmallow. As Lancelot to make it more not burnt. He doesn't want to get don't want a marshmallow to get as burnt as possible. He doesn't like he wants like a little burnt. Lance is like very concerned about heat and saying that's not how you toast a marshmallow. Again, he has some experience of camping and roasting a marshmallow is a very traditional for very camping for most of us. Just but for our traditional Lenorius family way here, it is s'mores because that's our tradition. Very traditional. But wow, Lance teaches everything about King. You're doing this activity where this is going. No, roasting mushrooms, one of them. Very traditional. Okay, let's get a move. That lake is freezing at night. Mantis teeth chair as he wraps up in the blanket. His hair is still wet from jumping in the lake, but he somehow managed to towel it off and slip back into the cozy record time. I'm daring all of you to go skinny dipping next. Up, Mantis, wagging finger. No repeat dares or repeat truths. That's part of the rules. Matt huffs, pouts, and mutters to soft. Next time then. I won't forget, McLean. And Lance just grins because, yeah, Heaven is there to get Matt to go jump in the lake naked. Stop complaining. It's your turn, it says, throwing a marshmallow at him. Matt snatches off the ground, blowing it off before popping in his mouth. They all make a face, but he says, fine. Your turn then, Itch. Truth, oh there. True, she says instantly. No doubt because Matt is looking a little vengeful after that last dare. He huffs, clearly put up before a wicked grin starts to split his lips. Fine. Screw, marry, or kill with Hunk, Lance, and Key. Bitch promptly gags on our marshmallow, eyes wide as his lips curl back in disgust. Seriously? Matt's grin is wide and delighted. Seriously. Why couldn't you have at least put Allura or Romel in there? Just where the two of them are sitting, grinning broadly with the rest of them as pitchforks. At least they're pretty. Hey, shut it, Lance. It's more fun this way, Matt says, waving a blanket at her. Go on. Fine. She blows up puff of air at her face. Eyes narrowing as she looks over Hunk, he lands, says each and every one of them. Hunk smiles and offers a tiny wave. He tries not to squirm, meeting her glare, and Lance flexes as she looks him over, shooting her a wink. Okay, I've made my decision. She sits up a little straighter, ticking off on her fingers. I marry Hunk because I think he's be the best housewife. Hunk puts his hands to his chest. Aw, thanks, bitch. And I screwed Keith because neither of us would enjoy it, and it would be over as soon as possible. Keith shrugs. That's fair. And I kill Lance because I think it will be satisfying. Hey, admit it, it says with a wicked grin, and a glint in her eyes that catches the fire. Our battle would be legendary. Lance pauses for a moment, lips first as he slowly nods his head, conceding as he leans back on his hands, stretches his legs out. Okay, you have a point. He holds up one hand, finger extended, pointing it at her as he narrows his eyes. You're missing out, because I'm the best kisser and I would totally be good husband material. I think I'll take my chances. She deadpans, giving a flat look. Then her eyes shift next to him, sailing over where he sits, and oh no, he knows that look. That subtle shift in her expression that's really not subtle at all if you know her well enough. Two parts too innocent, and one part mischievous. Keith, she says, a little too brightly, making Keith blink in surprise and sit a little straighter. Truth or dare? Dare, he says. Because of course he does. What else would he say when Keith's never turned down a challenge cooked on him? And the moment he does, his grin widens. Like a cat watching the mouse trap spring shut, trapping her prey. Perfect. She waves a lazy hand in Lance's direction. I dare you to put Lance money where his mouth is. Lance freezes, breath hitching in his throat. His heartbeat feels too loud, and he's positive that he can hear it. He, also gone, stops still next to him. Let out a sob. What? Hitch sits up a little straighter across the campfire, looking outright villainous as she crosses her arms over his chest. You heard me. I dare you to find out if Lance really is the best kisser. Lance is pretty sure he's not breathing. His chest hurts and feels a little dizzy. He glares at Pitch because this was not part of the plan. This is too direct, but it's also kind of brilliant, but the key isn't moving. He still has eyes, and despite there being a mere few inches between them, he feels miles away. There's a chill in the air, despite the campfire burning bright and the hush has fallen over them. No one speaks. Out of the corner of his eye, you can see Hunk gapping. Alora Romel exchanging glances. He can't look away from Pitch, too dang nervous to look at Pete himself. The two of them are having a silent staring contest. A log on the fire cracks, loud enough in the silence to break the tension as they all jump. And then footsteps, snapping branches. They all look up as Shiro and Adam step out of the woods and back into the little circle of their campsite, hand in hand and smiling. We're back, Shiro announced before he pauses, glancing around between them. His brow furrows, but it's Adam who addresses the atmosphere. What happened? Nothing, he says a little too quickly, making Adam raise a brow. I dared Keith to kiss Lance, and there goes Pitch, quick as a whip and blunt as ever. He's pretty sure he's never seen Shiro's eyebrows raised that quickly. Oh, it looks to Keith, and Lance can't see Keith's expression. He's a little afraid to look at him honestly, but there's definitely some signs of better communication going on there. So you're playing shoot oh there? Adam asked. Conversation as always, cutting through the tension like it's not even there, tugging Shira into the circle and sitting them both down with the fire. Yeah, we started after you left for your walk, Mom says. Lance made me jump in the lake naked, Matt adds. Adjectives. We thought we heard a scream. They made me bench press Rommel. Alert sits a little straighter, legs crossed and hands in her ankles. Rommel Roxford lifts in a hand. And I had to eat a fish head. And I, Pitch says, with sass and emphasis, ignoring their attempts to dare Keith to kiss Lance. No, Dolphins. And Lance is pretty sure there's needles in his lungs because there's no other explanation for this pain in his chest. Pitch runs. What do you mean no? It's true there, Keith. Come on. He stands there, abruptly quick, making Lance up and nearly fall off the log. How stiff is it? No! He sharper his voice louder and harder. Landscapes, eyes focused on the tension in his temple as he clenched his jaw, driven out to where his hands are curled into tight fists. I am not kissing Lance. It's final, concrete, no room for argument, sharp and cutting as it slices right through Lance's heart, leaving his chest feel tight and lacerated. And ouch. Okay, that kind of venom wasn't really necessary, was it? Pitch vigilant brown drops, replaced by one of confusion with a word. Keith, she said softer, but Keith, he's over there walking. No, stop in the way. Keith, she calls after him again, but she's caught up by a curtain quick. Drop it, bitch. And then he's gone, stopping out into the woods, disappearing between the trees, swallowed by shadows and Lance. Feels like the ground is breaking apart beneath him, like his stomach has dropped and he's in free fall. To sit up and terrified. His chest, it hurts, all tight and sore, and he's pretty sure his breathing's too quick. Shh, comes a soft melodic voice, and into to find Laura sitting next to him, in the spot he had vacated. Her hands on the back, rubbing small, smooth circles, and her kind, understanding smile has to breathe easier. Breathe with me now, okay? He nods, doing as he's told, focusing on exaggerating breathing until his own levels out and he no longer feels as dizzy. He's still having a hard time processing through, still stuck somewhere bleeding in denial because there's no way that could have happened. That he could have gotten the chance to kiss Keith only to be rejected, venomously, firmly, decisively and confidently, quickly. Rejected so solidly that there's really no room for interpretation. And Lance, it's been shut down before, okay? He's not new to that. But with Keith, they're friends. He thought he could have sworn they're going somewhere. Could have sworn Keith felt something too. And now everyone's looking at him with these pitying stares at him. Dang, if this ain't the worst. Because they know how it feels. He's not exactly subtle about it when he isn't around. And now they all witness that. It's just sucks. Chocolate clear stroke, pushing himself to his feet, brushing off his pants, and gesturing over his shoulder with the phone. I'm gonna go talk to him. Hunk moves to sit at Lance at his side, wrapping Lance up inside the hug and pulling him against his flank. I'm sure you didn't mean it, buddy, he says, voice low and confident. A bit of that bubbles up Lance's throat, tasting like bile his tongue. Yeah, he says, feeling the self-hatred starting to sink in like barbs, latching on, refusing to let go. I think he did. The offers Hunk a small smile, but he knows his friend can see through the facade easily. His confidence slots into place as defense shielding, but it feels brittle and flimsy. Guess this is mission failure. It's not too late. Just drop it, Hunk. Please. An awkward silence passed. Everyone exchanging glances they think Lance can't see, biting their lips and shifting nervously, until Romeo claps her hands together, drawing everyone's attention to her mischievous grin as she says, So, who's up for ghost stories? Honestly, Lance hates ghost stories, but he's in sore need of distraction, and he'll take just about anything right now. Aw, doesn't it feel sad that this is the like the blowout of this story? This is very, very nervous wracking that they're going to be as bad as they think about it. Because this truth of Dare and Pidge dares to Keith to kiss Lance. And Keith is like superly rejected to do this. To kiss up to this one. Because it's a dare. But he really doesn't like that. That. Know how it feels like to be rejected? It hurts. It hurts, Joey. It hurts. I'm just literally talking to a dog right now. I'm to the dog right now. But first, I'm gonna have to put him down for a second. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with Keith, but this is this. That's awful. Ghost stories last about an hour before they start to fizzle out of things to say. Pitch has plenty, but Keith has even more. Without him here for pitch bounce offs, things just feel off. And Lance can't even focus enough to get truly creeped out because all he hears is the echo of Keith's words, dripping in venom, and the sharp look on his face. Cuts deep, burns, aches. And when it's clear that they're getting nowhere with this distraction, Laura comes up with an idea to shift the atmosphere. She brings out the guitar and ukulele they brought with them, asking them to Lance and Hank respectively. Play for us, she says. All right and cheerful, eyes wide and pleading. Then Romel saddles up next to her with equally wide puppy dog eyes. Then Pitch, then Matt, and then even Adam joins them. And it's funny enough to elicit a soft chuckle at the feet as he pulls out the instrument. He and Hunk play, leading the others through songs around the campfire. You can tell by his song choices that he's leaning towards something more melancholy, but thankfully Hunk's ukulele is there to make things sound pluckier and more upbeat. He eventually lets Hunk leave because he's not really feeling it much himself. Hard to sing around the lump in his throat, you know. Eventually, Cheryl and Keith can come back, settling in across the campfire. Everyone notices, but no one calls attention to it besides a couple of nods. Keith won't make eye contact with Lance. He sits hunched, arms crossed over his chest, eyes resolutely fixed on the fire in front of him. It's it's a Keith Lance hasn't been seen in a long time. This close off and cold, and all because he didn't want to kiss Lance. Stings like a bee. So Lance closes his eyes, hums along harmony to Hong's voice, and tries to lose himself in the plucked tunes, the chirp of crickets and crackle of fire. Alright, so Ghost Stories is done, and then time for some sing songs around the campfire. Everyone's just singing along, and then Keith and Lance, Cheryl and Keith are coming back from the woods, and Keith hasn't been much, has been ignored of this truth or dare incident. So feel like he got what he wanted, and that hurts. Oh God, it really sucks. This when I try to read this chapter, I feel like I I'm sad. This is not what I wanted to plan out. Like, come on, not ramble something because I don't like ramble. Sleep does not come easy, or at all, really. Originally, he was planning on trying to find like finagle their sleeping arrangements to get in the same tent as Keith. All part of Operation Woo Keith or whatever. Now that the operation is a bust, he just defeatedly crawled into the two-man tent with Conk at the end of the night. Unfortunately, as drained as it feels, sleep won't take him. He's left lying in a sleeping bag, staring at the fabric of the tent ripple in the wind, lost in thoughts that are rapidly pulling him into a downward spiral. Thing is, can't figure out where he went wrong. He thought could have sworn they were getting along and actually going somewhere with, but whatever has been budding between. Maybe he was just seeing what he wanted to see, projecting or something. Maybe he just saw them as friends, the same as everyone else. And all romantic feelings were on Lance's side. Still, though, kind of dramatic way to refuse to kiss somebody when they were just playing a game. He didn't have to go and actively discuss it. Maybe he doesn't even like the guys. Oh, that's stupid. Lance knows Keith is into dudes. They've talked about it. So it's not just into Lance. Lance just discussing. Great. Fan freaking task. If only the earth would open up beneath him and swallow him whole so he didn't have to deal with the feeling of his heart freaking shattering. Wait, what was that? He blinks, lifting his head and propping himself up on his elbows as he strains to listen. There. That that sounds like a tent unzipping, but slowly, super slowly. the rustle of fabric, footsteps, snap of a twig. Curiosity gets better, and honestly, what the heck else is gonna do besides just spiral some more of a pit of self-deprecation? So he slowly disentangles himself from the sleeping bag and leans forward, tucking open the door to his own tent just enough to peek out. Key. Key slipping out of his tent and staring at him, slowly zipping it back up. Once outside, he sits at one of the logs around the fire pit and pulls on socks and shoes, already dressed, like non-pajamas, but in real clothes. Jeans, a t-shirt, and hoodie. He could just be going to piss. And Lance is all for forgiving people privacy to do business in the woods. But this just strikes him as odd. Who gets fully dressed to go piss in the middle of the night? That's more of a stumble out, stumble in situation. He's dressed more for a hike, and that just makes Keith's curiosity spike. And really, he's not about to let anyone go and wandering about on their own in the middle of the night in the woods. So as quickly as he can, he scrambles to grab his own clothes, changing out his pajamas and back into jeans as quickly as possible. Keith is already gone. By the time Lance stumbles out of his tent, still trying to slip on his shoes, he can still see Keith splash between the trees, but it's getting fainter, leaving Lance little time to think as he hurries after it. So they're now sleeping right now in the tent, but all of a sudden Keith just went out. No, all dressed and takes on number one. He kind of walks around into the little woods, and then Lance just comes after and seeing he's like, Keith, I wonder what he's doing there. I don't know where Lane's gonna go about, but we'll see what happens. We'll find out. Okay, so Lance can admit he's being a little, following after Keith in the dark and secret through the woods, but he swears it's with the best intentions. He just doesn't want to make sure the guy is safe, and you know, he's kind of wuss about approaching him right now. So following silently it is, which isn't exactly easy in the forest at night, but he snuck around to get the jump on his siblings enough to do it well enough. Every time he does step on something or rustle a bush, he pauses, but seems to write it off as no more than some nocturnal animal or whatever. That is, until Keith seems to reach his destination, like a 30-minute walk away from camp. Seriously, Keith, what the? He settles down on this rock that seems to protrude out over the lake, and he just sits there, looking at the stars. So Land sighs, resigned to the fact that they'll probably be here for a while, and tries to settle in. On the trip over a fallen branch, fell his arms out to rustle dang near every leaf in the vicinity, then fall right at the tree line out in the open. Ugh, frick, he groans. Nearly at the same time, he hears the shout command, "Who's there?" With his head, he pushes himself up onto his knees. Look at him. And Keith is there ahead of him, perched on that rock in this ridiculous defensive crouch, one arm held out with the gleam of moonlight out the middle. Keith, what the heck? Is that a knife? His posture relaxes, back straight as the knife goes. Lance? Sorry, Lance doesn't need to see his face to hear the confusion in his voice. Uh, it sits back on his heels, holding his hands out meekly. Surprise? What are you doing here? I saw you leave camp, so I just, you follow me? It's deadpan and so hard to read. Lance groans, running a hand down his face. Please, to make it sound creepy, you snuck around the woods after me. Okay, still deadpan. But Lance swears he hears some amusement there. Eve, a chuckle. Okay, thank God. There's a chuckle. He chips, put it in his knife away, and turn it back to the lake. If you don't want it to sound creepy, don't do creepy things. I didn't mean for it to be creepy, Lance huffs, pausing for a moment before standing, shuffling toward Kate's rock and taking a seat next to him. With as much confidence as he can muster, he does, however, leave a good foot of space between them. I just couldn't sleep, and wandering around the woods alone at night is dangerous. I was concerned about your safety. He exhales this sharp low breath, almost sure Lance. I was. He shoves at Key's shoulder, making Key rock away before swinging to shove him right back. It's familiar, comfortable. It feels right, but there's still this distance between them that wasn't there before. A wall of tension Lance wishes he could tear down. So, what you doing out here? Cryptid hunting, howling at the moon, couldn't sleep either. Key humps, thoughtful despite Lance's attempt at humor. I was just going for a walk, but this seemed like a nice place to look at the stars. Silence settles between them, and where it might have once been comfortable, peaceful even, this one feels strained. It's been a long time since things have felt awkward. Strained because he's gated with anticipation, excitement. His body feels like a live wire when he's alone with Key. Yeah, that happens a lot. But this sort of strain that comes from a lack of anything to say. Shaky because they don't know where they stand. Uncertain and doubtful. Jagged walls up and apprehension crawling under skin. Yeah, it's been a long time since this and he doesn't like it. So he takes a risk. Leans over and bumps his shoulder against Keith's. Whisper loudly, I can find more consolations in you. And when he glances over, heart in his throat, Keith staring at him, eyes searching his own, quite contemplative. And then slowly, he stops. You're on. Things still feel brittle and strange, but they fall into a normalcy that at least makes it easier to breathe. Okay, so they're coming crawling along, just a little falls up a little key. And then Lance sudden whoops falls down into this little ranch. That ranch that was tripped in and he falls down. That kind of sounds out on it and then oh, I thought there's someone there. I thought there's like a mullet with like a knife. So it's someone's gonna kill him in the woods or something. That's not good. But it's just Keith living down there and Ant's coming after Keith for I don't know what the heck is he doing in the woods. But that's all there's much to it for that. There's nothing else. That makes it go a little crazy, you know what I'm saying? Because that's and then they'll just have to stop there and just looking at the stars. They're probably counting the constellations. It might be that, but it might be something else. They're just staying there, just sat where the stars are. All right, let's see where this is gonna go. Keith might know his constellations, but Lance has been playing this game with his siblings for most of his life. And when you're the youngest, you gotta get competitive to keep up. Gets so far ahead that Keith has started to pout, started to blink, leans over the distance between them to playfully slap hands over Lance's eyes to try to give himself an advantage. It leads to some wrestling, jabbing elbows, grabbing hands. Every touch, every spot of contact has Lance's breath itching. Keith searching through. He keeps waiting for Keith to pull away, to reestablish this between them, to affirm the whole I would never kiss Lance ill thing to happen earlier, but it doesn't. When the resonance dies down, they're sitting close, shoulder to shoulder. Just one of Keith's fingers overlaps his own, where they lean back on their hands. The clouds are getting thicker, but it just makes the game more challenging. Spot the stars through the gaps and all that. The wind is whipping up. It smells like rain, but neither of them is just leaving. It has hope burning like a forgotten ember on his chest. He thinks maybe, just maybe, everything will be okay. Everything is not okay. It's the farthest from okay. They're light years away from okay. Keith stops walking and Lance collides with his back, sending them both stumbling forward. He reaches out automatically to grab Keith's arms, steadying them both. That doesn't, however, stop Keith from whipping his head around to glare at Lance, a glare that he returns brutally. Watch it, he snaps. Lance probably ignores. He's cold, he's wet, and they have been trudging through the rain for at least an hour. It's late, he's exhausted, and he's officially done. So yeah, no time for Keith's ass. Why'd you stop? He looks away, glaring at the trees around them, like they purposely offended him. He glances slowly, voice full of warning. He doesn't look at him. his lips pursed. Keith, he whines, please tell me you know where you're going. I swear to God, I don't know these woods, okay? Keith hubs, pulling his arm out of landscapes. You're the one who came out here in the middle of the night. You're telling me you have no idea where you're going? I told you I was going for a walk. I thought I could just retrace my steps. So why can't you? I'm trying. My God, we're lost. He slaps his hands over his wet cheeks. Expression of horror slowly mounting. In the middle of the night, and we're lost. He rolls eyes, turn to continue in the direction. We're not lost. We are. Wait, where are you going? Keith, Keith, wait up. Don't leave me here. Okay, so they've just been counting down the stars and all, and then all of a sudden, everything went not good because they have been lost. They just stopped and he just went for a walk and doesn't know where, this particular wood that he had been walking on. But just for between he and Lance. And they got somehow lost. I don't know where they're gonna go back to the camp. That's very awful, right? You should familiarize yourself where to go. If you're lost, then that's not good. Unless you have a fear of like the direction and you don't know where you're going, that sucks. That really sucks. This is all your fault, Lance mumbles, arms crossed over his chest and shoulders hiked up high. Thankfully, the overhead canopy of the trees keeps him from getting completely soaked. It's definitely wet and definitely unhappy at night. Who goes out for a walk at midnight anyway? I didn't ask you to follow me, he says, a couple steps ahead of him. Lance huffs a loud puff of an exit that sounds like a strange cross between a groan and a sigh. I wasn't about to let you go get lost by yourself, he says, like it's the most obvious thing in the world, which, duh, it is. Why not? Figures he wouldn't get through. Because you're my friend, and I'm not about to let my friends go wandering off on their own. That's a recipe for disaster. He throws up his hands, gesturing to the ring, despite the fact that he doesn't turn around to see. Case and point. I didn't think you cared. His soft finish. The grumble near lost the sound of the rain. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold up. Lance urged forward, grabbing Keith by the wrist and forcing him to a stop. Why wouldn't I care? Keith looks at him then. This person so small frown. Eyes narrowed, hair wet and sticking to his face. He's trying to glare, but he looks far more like a disgruntled wet cat. Lance, you've hated me since day one. Lance gasps, making sounds of protest that sound like abrupted words. He's just, he can't, that's not, okay, that's, he's supposed to, that's fair. He settles on the glare of his own, shoulders hunching as he tries to frown. It's definitely not a pout though, okay? I ain't never hated you, he mumbles. The frown of Keith's brows, the tip of his head. What? I said, he raised his voice, a little sharper and more confident. I never hated you. Keith's glared at Walter, but this pause, a crack. You could have fooled me. You've been antagonizing me since the day we met. Well, yeah, okay, fair, Lance says, waving his free arm aimlessly, his grip on Keith's arm tight. But you weren't exactly a peach eater. You snapped at me just as much. And it's not my fault you're so much fun to rile up and pick on. It was all sorry, Keith's flat stick. Right, not the point. The point is that I've gotten better. We've gotten better, right? He lets his hand drop, bringing his arms back over his chest, hunching in on himself in the chill. He looks down at his feet, shuffling in the mud. At least I thought we were. There's a long pause, and then Keith sighs, shaking his head and sending droplets flying. He looks away, off into the distance. I don't know what you want from me, it says softly, lost and forlorn in the rain. Makes Land's heart ache. He doesn't know what to do with it. You're not exactly an open book yourself, whispers, finally annoyed, a touch of heat. Half the time, I don't know where I stand with you. He looks at him then, looks smaller in the darkness, in the rain, surrounded by towering trees. It feels strange here, like a small bubble of privacy, a bubble that threatens to pop. And Land doesn't know what will be released into the world once it does. Keith's expression is shadowy. eyes glimmering in the darkness. The sound is pressing, thick and weighted. Lance could feel it filling his lungs, threatening to drag him under, swallow him whole. When Keith finally speaks, it's an hushed whisper, one so gentle that it takes Lance a moment to register if he heard anything at all. Where do you want to stand? It takes a step forward, hesitant, shy, looks up at Keith through his lashes, knows he must look like a mess, but Keith doesn't look away. I just want to be beside you, Keith, with you, he whispers, just gently afraid his voice will crack around the lungs. I know I'm not the best at showing it, but it trails off as Keith stretches out a hand, stares at it for a moment, dumbfounded, before it searches Keith's eyes, and possibly he sees the dark line of his mouth curve ever so slightly upward. Lance reached out to take his hand, as cold and clammy as his own, and yet there's a warmth where they touch. Keith doesn't say anything as he turns, continuing down the path. Lance says nothing as it follows. Thankful Keith doesn't turn around to see the white grin and stares at their joined hands. Yeah, this is very heartwarming in this part because they have been trapped by this forest and then they have to pull out some of these feelings is that they're a friend. But Keith asked Lance like why does Lance hated him like in the very beginning, the first time they met. And Lance said, no, I never hated you. We've been trying to get on as much as efficient, and then you snap at me because you're the first one to get picked on because trying to tease you know. For Lance saying that he wanted to be with him no matter where this you know, teasing and all this, everything's just a game. It was never been serious. No. So yeah, they just ended up no, but they finally get to know each other, you know, get to know their feelings and such. All right, that will bother you. Hey Keith, what? What if we don't find our way back? We will. But how do you know? What if we're lost out here all night? I think I know we're going around. We'll get back. How are you so calm about this? I used to go camping with my mom and dad a lot. We used to just explore in the woods, get lost, find our way back. Oh, that's pretty cool, I guess. Yeah. If you can't lead us back to camp, I guess that's the point for you in the camping competition. Camping isn't a competition, Lance. You only say that because you're losing. Sure. Hey, Key? Yeah? Sorry if I'm ever too much. I know it can be a lot. And I know I used to be sort of, but sorry about that, too. I can see why you annoyed me a lot. So just, you're not annoying, Lance. I'm not? Well, yeah, you are, but I don't mind. It can be kind of endearing or whatever. Oh, cool. Cool. That's cool. Hmm? Hey, Keen? What? Even though we're lost in the woods, and I'm tired as heck, and I'm cold and wet, and we're probably gonna get sick if, wolves or bears on us first, but I'm really glad you came out with us. Me too. I know it's not always obvious, and I know I'm not great at expressing it, but I like spending time with you. I noticed. You did? Lance, you love fishing. And instead of actually fishing, you spent the whole time helping me learn how to fish. Oh, right. For the record, I like spending time with you too. You do? Yeah. Oh, cool. So, are we good? Like, things have always been up and down with us. It was kind of awkward either, but are we good? Yeah. Yeah, Lance. We're good. Cool. So this is just the conversation between Kate about going to some sort of, and they apologize for what are some things going wrong. But hopefully this doesn't happen again between each other and just get out feeling with them and just stick to being together, just for each other. No matter where the situation they've been going through, they'll always be with each other. Find a way out. Probably maybe out of this. They don't end up making it back to camp, but they do end up finding the parking lot. Instead of following the path down to the campsites, he tugs them resolutely forward, leaning in towards Shio's car. When they reach it, he lets go of his hand, and without the pleasantly warm distraction, Lance slept with nothing but the sensation of wet jeans clinging to his legs, wet socks slushing inside soaked shoes, a chill running through his body, and water running rivets down his face. It's altogether wholly unpleasant. What are you doing? He asked, watching Keith type in the code on the number pad between the driver's side door handle. As soon as the car unlocks, Keith rips the door open, pressing the unlock button before slamming it shut and moving around to the trunk, arms crossed over his chest. But a hunch, trying to suppress shivering, watches Keith props the trunk and ducks down for a load. Cher always keeps towels and blankets in his car. Lance is around. So we're going to bring them back to camp? They'll get wet on the walk. He pops back up, eyeing him sheepishly over the trunk. I uh figured we could just sleep in the car tonight. The car? He shrugs, looking away. It's going to be a lot drier than the tents. And we're totally soaked, so I guess I just figured it'll be more comfortable. That's not silly. That's a good point. Honestly, he wasn't exactly looking forward to trudging back to their campsite and trying to undress in the rain before throwing himself to the tent in an attempt to keep the mud and rain out of it. Their tent might be waterproof, but everything will still be damp and cold, and at least the car would offer definite protection from the rain. On the other hand, he won't get stretched out when he sleeps. Whatever. It's gonna be near dawn at this point, and he's exhausted. If sleeping in the car means he can be warm and dry and not have to walk any further, he'll take it. He starts around the front of the car. The key's voice stops him when he has his hands on the door handle. What are you doing? Get in the car? You're not going to sleep in the back? The stranger is sheepish, a little shy. Lance brows furrow, confusion agony. I figured you would want the back. Yeah, but he shrugs, ducking back down to the trunk. Voice become muffled. I thought maybe we both take back or something. Both? 9 seconds. It followed quickly by a sharp bark of laugh, and that might sound a little delirious. Why would we both sleep in the back seat? I don't know. Keith snaps, embarrassed and pinching his features as he looks up the glare, cradling a bundle in his arms as he slams the trunk shut. I thought, I just thought you wanted, dude. Just a few hours ago, the thought of kissing me on a dare for a game was the worst thing in the world. It doesn't matter if I'm okay with it. I'm not about to make you uncomfortable. It's not the worst thing in the world. He blurts, leaving Lance reeling. He blinks and lets out a very intelligent. What? Keith ducks his head, shuffling around the car to open the back door and shove the bundle of towels and blankets aside. I said it's not the worst thing in the world, he moans. Are you sure? Lance asks, skeptical as heck, because what the heck? Because you sure made it seem that way, Keith frowns, staring into the back seat of the car in the bright street light that overlooks the parking lot. Lance can see the furrow of Keith's brows, bursts of his lips, the set of his jaw, the flash of something sudden and determined as he turns. He takes a step forward, reaches out. Lance lets out a startled and undignified yelp as Keith's fingers curl into the front of his jacket, jerking him forward with a sharp tug, causing him to stumble across the space between them. Hands going to Keith's shoulders to catch himself, and Keith surges forward to meet him, lips landing firmly on his own. And Lance freezes, stock still, rigid as stone, unable to blink or breath or even process the fact that Keith is kissing. He feels the bristle in his head, the spark and the abrupt shut down as everything becomes too much at once, overloads and restarts. And then, as things slowly start to come back online, he becomes aware of things seconds. He's kissing Keith. They're kissing. Holy crow, he's kissing him. And it's not the best kiss. Actually, their mouths aren't even probably aligned. Keith's Hastings at all. He's got the corner of Lance's mouth, but he's pressing forward with all he's got, and it's adorable, really. Trying not to smile, but knowing Keith can no doubt feel it anyway. Lance tilts his head, a short movement, just a shift, really, but it aligns their lips perfectly, and suddenly they're kissing for real. Kisses are softer than Lance ever dared imagine, and very wet. From the rain, it drips down their hair and runs in streams down their faces. His lips are cold, but his hands shift upward, cupping his neck and jaw, licking at Keith's mouth until his lips part with a soft little gasp. Then there's warmth. Keith pushes into him, clinging tightly. It's not exactly pleasant. The clothes are wet, sticking to themselves and each other. The rain is still coming down, beating and dripping. It's cold, but Lance doesn't think that's the only reason why shivers run down his spine. It might not be a great kiss, but it's still perfect. When they pull away, they don't go far. Water drips from Keith's bangs into space between them. And Lance can feel rain beating at the tip of his nose. They breathe heavily, soft hands hot on their cheeks. Slowly, ever so slightly, a delicate, sheepish smile blooms on Keith's face. I I didn't want that to be because of it there or in front of the others. Oh, Lance says, because what else he can say? He's too exhausted to think, and now there's getting adrenaline flooding through. Okay, Keith lifts a brow. Okay, yeah. Lance pulls him forward again, tugging his head to press his against Keith. Then the other boy feels his smile as he whispers, okay. Wow. So they finally ended up, they are not lost, so they didn't get back to the camp, but they ended up on the parking lot. So Keith went to share his car and just sleep there and having a cuddle. That's the only way they're gonna end up sleeping, because that's where they are. So yeah, and they finally realized that he doesn't want to be there. No, the kissing thing for Lance, he doesn't want to do it because there is one of the because of no there or do this there in front of the others. He wants to know the kiss lands like very privately. Because he doesn't want to know the whole world about it. Okay? He doesn't want to know the entire world to know about that. That yes, they are each other. And so what? Getting to sleep is an easy feat. They get into the front seats and peel off their wet clothes, leaving only in t-shirts and boxers as they try to towel off. Then they try to get back to the back seat, trying to situate themselves. There's a lot of thrown elbows, tangled limbs, and smacking parts of the car. They bicker through it, but they also laugh, playfully shoving one another and occasionally stealing a quick kiss. Eventually, they get settled. Lance lies on the back while he lies inside. Head on Lance's chest and arm floats over his stomach. His legs curl, practically splitting Lance's butt as he curls beneath it. Lance's own legs drape over Keith, puts them in this twisted half double spoon cuddle tangle, and it's gosh darn perfect. Keith nuzzles into the crook of his neck, settling with an intense sigh, and as Lance runs fingers through Keith's hair, leaning down to press a lingering kiss at the top of his head. Hey, Lance, Keith whispers into the darkness, words slipping between the rhythmic and soothing sound of rain on the roof above them. Hmm? Lance hums. He buries his face. So close that Lance can feel the curve of Keith's mouth as he grumbles against skin. I'm glad you followed me tonight. Lance holds him tight, curling tighter into the embrace. Yeah, he whispers, smile on his lips. Me too. They still have a lot to talk about. Tomorrow, they're probably both going to be exhausted as heck and have kinks in their backs from sleeping in this car. Still, you can't really bring yourself to complain too much. It feels like they were lost for a long time, settling around each other and missing pats, missing opportunities, but they're here for now. They made it together. And Operation Woo Keat It's totally a success. Okay, that wraps up with that one shot called Lost Together. They just finding their way back and, getting into the car and just stay there. That's good. At least they finally got back to where they are, but they just ended up in Lance, how that shares car. And it's very funny because they've been soaking wet like for hours and hours they have lost in the woods, but they finally get to sleep at the very back of the car, not just the back seat. Just cuddle them and you know, all's good. All's good. Well, they did it. Operation Wookiee is a complete success. Maybe some down times, but yeah, well done. Well done, Lance. You did the mission. Alright, now we're getting down to the last pick, and that would caught up with everything. And then after that, I will catch myself a break. I need to take a break for a second. Okay, so we're done with the all my picks for my regular one. All my regulars are now caught up. So yeah. Alright, just for recap, yeah, I've done these 4 new picks that I read. Now they're all caught up, so I'm all good for those. But it all comes down to just one pick that I have not read. That I have not read. This is called Ocean Heat. Yeah, Ocean Heat is the only pick that I have not read. So it's mermaid. Mermaid's gonna be Keith. He's an octopus merman. Okay. Strange merman biology. There's tentacles. Bondage with said tentacles. This one. There's main cycle, and then lands this time tops. Keith bottoms. Oh, so we're switching up the game here. Alright, then that's all we had. Just for one pick left and we're done. I'm fully updated with everything. Alright guys, goodbye.